Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the John Guinn Travel Show on ukhealthradio.com. This week's show is a World Travel Market special. Once a year, the travel industry gets together for a massive convention at the Excel Centre in London. You get tour operators there, tourist boards, technology experts, just about everybody who's connected with travel either has a stand there or goes there to meet people to discuss business. Of course, if you're a travel agent, you're probably going there to get as many pens and paper and notepads and desk diaries as you can. And when I was there last year with my press pass, I came back with an awful amount of USB memory sticks. This year, I got one. I don't know what happened. I was late showing up, so maybe all the locusts of the press corps got there before me and took every single memory stick. Or perhaps after the expense of last year, people are no longer bothering. I don't know which, but anyway, I didn't need any more memory sticks. Anyway, I got more than enough. So this week it's an interviews I did with people from the Great Lakes region of the USA. I featured them earlier in the year. And because golf is big in the area, the Ryder Cup got mentioned more than once. So I was a little bit, oh no, don't remind me we lost, but they got to win sooner or later, so let them enjoy the moment while it lasts. As well as the interviews with the Great Lakes area, there will be travel news at the end, which will be a collection of press releases from World Travel Market. So the first chat I'm doing is with Gayle, and she is the Market Development Manager for Explore Minnesota. And we're talking about Minnesota, obviously. And of course, we have to get the elephant in the room sorted, which was the Ryder Cup, so we'll talk about golf first. It was recorded in a very busy convention area, so there's a lot of background noise, but my guest's vocals do come through quite clear, so you should be able to understand every word they say. There was a golf competition in your area recently. How did it go?
Yes. Are you talking about Ryder Cup?
Possibly.
Yes. Well, we were very fortunate to hold Ryder Cup. It was beautiful. It was spectacular. We had great weather. We had great turnouts for every single day. And we have done some studies since then to sort of understand the reach and the type of interest that we've had since then. And what we do know is that well over 1 billion impressions have come to us because of Ryder Cup through all of our different advertising and promotional efforts. So we know that it is huge for Minnesota, that we've put Minnesota on the map, and that we will be reaping the benefits of this for a long time to come. The other thing that I think is important to this market is we do have Minnesota golf product for the first time, and I think, again, we can attribute that to Ryder Cup being in Minnesota. So we have a tour operator that offers golf programs to Minnesota for the first time. So we're very excited and very grateful for all that's come from this. And I would just briefly point out the fact that the USA won this time round.
We were robbed.
But I will also say that there was publicity that it was there was quite a lot of fan competition back and forth, and maybe there was some bad feelings, but I would say that is simply not true. That all of the fans were very supportive, whether you were for the USA or for the Europeans, and really at the competitions themselves, people respected both sides, whether you were for USA or for Europe. So it was really a well done tournament, and it was a great event.
I might cut out the bit where you said you won, but everything else is fine.
Yeah, right.
Prince Paisley Park is a new attraction. Where is it?
Absolutely. Well, Paisley Park is located in a western suburb of the Minneapolis-St. Paul area called Chanhassen. Chanhassen is not a name that people would know, but it's about 20 minutes from the city center of Minneapolis. It's a very neighborhood type of city. He chose that location because he wanted to be in a neighborhood, Paisley Park. So, and what's interesting is it's right on a major highway, so it's not hard to see or find at all. And Paisley Park opened for tours just about 2 weeks ago permanently. They have tours Thursdays through Sundays. They have 2 different types of tours, and I would highly recommend taking the VIP tour because it's guided, and you learn so much about Prince, about his life, his creativity. You see his creativity, the creativity that his fans saw on stage, you see in his studio and in the tour that you take at Paisley Park. So it's very well done.
With it only been open 2 days a week, is it best to book ahead?
Yes, absolutely. And you can do that online and definitely do it in advance. It's very easy to do.
Well, with the drop in the value of the pound, people still want to go to the USA for shopping. It's the Mall of America's 25 years old next year. Is there any bargains to have?
There are always bargains at Mall of America, and it depends on the time of year, sometimes more. Certainly at holiday times, after Christmas, shopping sales, very big in America, of course. But all year round, there are various sales going on in the different stores, both the anchor stores, the larger stores, and the smaller stores. And of course, in Minnesota, there is no tax on clothing and shoes, so it's a bargain anytime.
Are there going to be any large celebrations to celebrate the 25th anniversary?
Absolutely. Mall of America will have many special events, and they will have a huge event on the anniversary in August.
The web address for Paisley Park is www.officialpaisleypark.com. There's quite a few web addresses mentioned on this week's show. As always, they can be found at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. Just look at the entry for the travel show for 10th of November 2016 and you'll see a list of everything that's mentioned on this week's show. You're listening to The Travel Show with John Guinn on ukhealthradio.com. The next interview I did was with Toby McKirrick. He represents the Great Lakes, the whole states that make up the region. He was on my show back in May, 19th of May 2016. If you wish to listen to all the other information he shared back then, there will be the web address for that show at facebook.com/John Guinn Travel Show. But this week, as he was wearing a Cubs shirt, it seems to make sense to talk about sport in the area. So that's what we're going to talk about, sport in the Great Lakes region. First important question, is the World Series that important?
It absolutely is that important. And if the listeners out there could see right now, I have my Cubs shirt on. It was 108 years in the making, and we were happy, excited, every adjective you could use. We were thankful that the Cubs made it and won. Although I have to admit, it was a little stressful. That Game 7 was a little stressful, but it turned out really good for us. And Indians did a great job too. I mean, if they had won. They hadn't won in, I don't know, it was like 40-some years too. So, both teams were kind of these underdogs for many, many years when it comes to the World Series. And to see that kind of baseball with 2 of the top teams in the world, it made for good television and it made for good promotion for Chicago and the entire Great Lakes region.
And you're still bouncing around the walls about it as well, aren't you?
Yes, we are, yes. The celebration that they had the day that I left to come here to WTM, they are estimating that there was over 5 million people in downtown Chicago. They're saying it is among the top 7 largest events of all time in the world, with over 5 million people coming to cheer the Cubs on.
Another 108 years for the next one?
Let's hope that it's a little sooner than that. I mean, it's a young team. These guys are like in their 20s and early 30s, so we all think that it'll be back there next year as well.
Moving on to a different sport, the Indy 500, everybody's heard about. Now, how can we join into that, get the whole experience as a local?
Well, I mean, you can go to the track anytime you want. The Indianapolis 500 actually runs at the end of May, and it runs for our American Memorial Day weekend. That's when they run the race. But the racetrack is open all the time. That's where the museum is at, as well as they offer tours where you can go down on the track. They have bus tours that you can go down there, as well as if you are really a thrill ride person, you can get in a regular car and be on the track as well. Just outside of the stadium itself, there's a manufacturer where they make the Indy cars, so you can tour that, see how the cars are made. You can get in a NASCAR and actually take an actual ride in a NASCAR or an IndyCar. So there's a lot there you can do with the entire racing experience.
I was in a rally prep car once with a professional driver, and I spent the whole experience trying not to scream like a little girl. It's really terrifying.
Yeah, I did the probably about 3 months ago. I was in Indianapolis and I did the NASCAR ride, and it wasn't necessarily that it was going so fast. It was when you made the turns. Mm-hmm. That's when your heart goes in your throat when you go around one of those turns.
You're here at World Travel Market to launch a new visitor guide. What should we look out for in it?
We do. We actually followed Brand USA, which is the marketing company for the United States. Their theme for next year is pop culture. So we use that same theme for all of our states. So we looked at fashion, we looked at celebrities, movies, television, food, shopping, the things that come to mind most when people are thinking about pop culture, and then we feature those different areas for every one of our states. So our new guide is all about pop culture. It actually has Prince on the cover of the guide, an honorarium to him for all he did with the music world.
For those of us who are at World Travel Market, how do we get hold of a copy?
You can go online to www.greatlakesusa.co.uk, and at the top of the page you'll see brochures and information. You click on that and you can download a PDF. It also gives the address for our agency here in the UK that you can give them a call or write them a letter or fill out the form on the website, and you can get a copy sent to you. Again, that's www.greatlakesusa.co.uk.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Great.
Hello, it's Roy. Yeah, we're on the ferry. We should be in Spain tomorrow afternoon.
Well, be careful. Lots of crooks on the roads out here.
Crooks? You know where I grew up.
This is different. They target British registered vehicles.
Yeah, they used to do that round my way.
I'm serious. They'll tell you there's something wrong with your car, so you pull over, then they rob you. Or they distract you at a motorway stop. They target hire cars, too.
Hire cars?
Yeah, well, they're driven by tourists.
Oh, OK, I'll watch out.
Good. So, looking forward to the drive down?
Yeah, well, I was.
Thieves in Spain have been targeting hire cars and UK-registered vehicles, so be extra careful on the roads. For details, visit gov.uk and search for Living in Spain.
You can follow me on Twitter at holiday_hut. The next topic on this week's show is Chicago. While I was doing research for this interview, I came across a fact that the Chicago River had its flow changed